It was a crisp autumn afternoon when my brother Ethan and I decided to explore the woods behind our house. We'd spent countless hours playing in those trees, but today felt different, darker somehow. The air was thick with an eerie silence that made my skin crawl. As we ventured deeper, the sunlight faded, swallowed by the thick canopy above. We joked and teased each other to keep our nerves in check, but the deeper we went, the less we felt like playing. We stumbled upon a narrow path we hadn't noticed before, winding deeper into the forest. Without thinking, we decided to follow it. After what felt like an eternity, we came across a clearing. The ground was littered with leaves, and the air felt strangely heavy. That's when we saw it. At first, it looked like a bundle of rags sprawled out against the gnarled roots of an old tree. My heart raced as I crept closer, dread curling in my stomach. Ethan stood frozen beside me, his face pale. I swallowed hard, my throat dry as I reached down to brush away the leaves. The moment I saw the face, my breath caught. It was a man. His skin was pale and mottled, eyes wide open, staring into nothing. It was clear he had been there for a few days. The smell hit us like a wall, rancid and overwhelming. We both recoiled, shock rendering us speechless. I glanced at Ethan, who looked like he might be sick. I knew I should say something, do something, call for help, but all I felt was a primal urge to get away. The woods that had once felt so familiar now seemed like a labyrinth of shadows and whispers. Without a word, we turned and ran. Branches whipped against our faces, and the ground felt uneven beneath our feet. I could hear Ethan's heavy breathing beside me, matching my own frantic heartbeat. We burst out of the woods, the familiar sight of our backyard grounding us momentarily. We collapsed on the grass, gasping for breath, the weight of what we had seen crashing down on us. I looked at Ethan, and he shook his head slowly, as if to say we shouldn't talk about it. I felt the same way. We both understood in that moment that we would never tell anyone. It was like a pact forged in fear. Days turned into weeks, but the image of that lifeless body haunted me. I'd lie awake at night, the man's empty gaze lingering in my mind. I could feel Ethan's silence echoing in the corners of our shared space. We were trapped in an unspoken agreement. Eventually, life returned to a semblance of normalcy, but the woods felt different now, foreboding, as if they held secrets too heavy to bear. We avoided that path, that clearing, but I knew we couldn't escape the memory. No one ever spoke of what we found, and perhaps that was the scariest part. The burden of a secret that tethered us to something we couldn't understand. We had stumbled upon death, and in our fear, we chose to forget. But every now and then, the woods would whisper our names, reminding us of the choice we made that day, the choice to run away instead of facing the truth.